Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream of Consciousness. I am Yiskah Koock.
And I am Ellen Ronis.
So good to see you, Ellen, as always.
You too.
How has your
You
dream life
too.
been?
Well, yeah, I've been dreaming, definitely. Yeah, I had a really fascinating dream a couple of nights ago, and I did some writing. I actually, in my writing group, I wrote the dream as if it were a story, and
Oh,
and it was really interesting. And I didn't tell anyone until the end after they heard it, and then they all gave me feedback on the writing that it was a dream. So yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah,
oh,
to do it like that. So yeah, it
cheater.
was very.
Just
Hmm?
kidding. I said cheater. I'm kidding, obviously, because we
Yeah,
get some
I
of
know.
our best creative
Oh yeah,
material from our dreams.
definitely,
Yeah,
totally. Yeah,
that's really
absolutely.
wonderful that you wrote about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is to keep writing. I mean, and I'd love to read it, but I'd like
Yes.
to keep writing it as a story to see like, okay, well, what happens next, and then what do I do, and then what happens, and then to see, just to see like what was the stream really about, so just
Yeah.
as a potential
It's
way to explore it.
almost like a super conscious dream entry where you're like in a
Yeah, something
conscious
like
mind.
that, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. How about you? Are you dreaming? Are you remembering anything?
You know, right now my dreams are kind of showing me a path, a specific path. And this has happened before with dreaming that I felt my dreams were really whatever they were doing. Right now, I feel like there's a theme and I'm being kind of renewed in a way and um, taught to be like the next, I don't know what it would be, like the next stage in the spiral, the next
Uh-huh.
time
Oh,
around the spiral. So I'm grateful for that, but I still feel like it's kind of, I'm still discovering it. So I would rather not share yet, but I would be more than
yeah.
happy in
Mhm.
future.
Yeah. I mean, I think I know what you mean. Like I think I can feel what you mean when you say all that.
Yes.
Um,
Please tell me. I know, I'm just kidding.
yeah, let me see if I could put it into words, my interpretation of what you
Yes.
said. Um, yeah, it's almost like s this is how I'm feeling from what you just said. Something is shifting, something is coming, but I don't know what it really is, but I can feel it. Like there's this sense that my alignment is coming together a little bit.
Oh, wonderful.
That's how I'm sensing what you
Yeah,
just said.
it does feel like that because,
But it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a thing, it doesn't have a,
yeah,
oh, I'm going to be doing this course or this thing
right.
or whatever.
I feel
It's
like I'm
flavor.
being instructed, which is a
Mhm.
wonderful relationship to have with one's
Absolutely.
dreams.
Yes.
And, I've had various other relationships with my dreams, such as I think we spoke about this when it seemed that most of the dreams in a couple of weeks span were foretelling of future
Hmm.
events. I
Hmm.
think we've spoken about that. This is not that, there's
Hmm.
nothing in particular. It just feels like
Hmm.
a training for me. Not training so much as a teaching.
Okay. Okay. And maybe you're just getting little bits of it, so you can't really see the whole thing. You can't
Not
see the whole
yet.
picture.
I can't. But
But that's really cool. I think that's like such a gift. I think that's such a
yeah.
gift.
Well, I think the
Yeah.
gift is in tracking your dreams for decades and
Mm.
decades. I mean, but whatever. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
just it doesn't have to be decades and decades. It could be today, tomorrow. I'll
Uh-huh.
give myself a
Yeah.
reminder that I need to remember my dream.
Hmm.
And then whatever I remember in the morning, I jot it down. And that, therefore, in a way, I always describe it as my, bless
Excuse
you,
me.
my unconscious mind is oh my gosh, the sneeze indicates to me that what I was saying was true. Right? Do you ever like think about that with spiritual teachings? But
Congratulations,
yeah.
boy.
So I would love for you to share the dream that you've been writing about,
Okay.
if you're okay
I'm
with that.
such a mess today. Sorry.
Oh,
My
you
hair
look
is all
beautifully relaxed. Just had a
I just had a
massage.
massage.
I know.
For those who are seeing this and didn't hear my story before. Yeah. So anyway, I feel wonderful. But so okay, two things. So I'm gonna read this dream as a
Yes.
story. But
Yes.
before that, I want to tell one little quick other dream that I had the night before, which
Okay.
we've talked so much about shoes and clothes. Like I have
Oh
so
my
many
God.
dreams and clothes.
I
It's
have
like crazy.
something so important to tell you about that after you tell me.
So the dream is that this little snippet of dream was, it wasn't a snippet really, it was a whole thing, but it was small. Um, it involves two very close friends of mine from the Hudson Valley. And so one, I give a pair of old boots of mine to this one friend, and then or she gives me a pair of boots, and then I give a pair of boots to another friend. And they're all boots. They're all like knee-high boots, and they're like all really cool hip boots. And you know, we all like admired each other's boots, and so we're like, "Oh, I'm tired of these. I'm going to give them to you," that sort of thing. And I suddenly realized that I want my boots back, that I gave them away too soon. It's like, wait, I'm not done yet. So I go to get my boots back from the friend who gave them to me. And then I want to do the same exchange with the other friend. Like I had given her one and then I wanted her to give them back to me. Like I wanted them all to go back the way they were. But she was with her partner and they were like over this cliff by the water. Felt like California, like you climb down these rock cliffs
Mhm.
and then you're kind of in the water. And they were on this ledge, like with water that looked really dangerous next to them. And I couldn't get to them to get my boots back. That's the whole
Oh,
dream.
wow. Now I know we're going to share the other dream too, but this one is too rich. And I have
It's
to
pretty rich.
share a coincidence. Coincidence.
Okay.
I was just watching a video on YouTube it's a video about Dolores Cannon's teachings. So
Hmm.
remember, she was, in the
Yeah.
70s already a spiritual teacher and did so much work. She was saying, get rid of your old shoes. I was going to tell you this because it reminded me of your dream about the boots. There were some worn in boots or something in a dream of yours that made me think of that. That when I heard this, I was thinking of, but now another one. But her whole thing is get rid of it because you're like anything that served you before when you're ready to, not if they're
Hmm.
not old and decrepit, but her whole thing is like walk in fresh shoes,
That's really
be
interesting.
she has a whole plan that I'm not going to go into right now, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was thinking of that dream of yours. Do you remember there was a pair of shoes by a bed and like a wood, I'm picturing like a wood cabin, not remembering too many more of the
I mean, I know
details.
there were so many dreams with clothing and like
Yes,
trying things, shoes and
yes,
clothes. Like my whole life, I think I've had that. So that's very significant for me, obviously.
yes.
And just to say, like a piece of reality check about the stream is that I had just cleaned out some drawers in my closet because I had bought a new pair of boots. They weren't new; they were actually like
Good,
consignment boots. So they were
great.
really great boots, not very much worn, and like I was very happy with that. And so I thought, well, I have these new boots. This is waking life, I can get rid of a couple of other old
Yes,
things. And
wonderful.
ended up giving them to a friend. I didn't really mean to give them to her. I just had a box of old stuff in my car, and she always, she doesn't have a lot of money, and she
Yes,
always likes to get old things. She loves it when other people
sure.
give her things. So
My
she took
favorite.
one pair
Uh,
of boots.
sorry.
She loved these boots. She's like, these are. She said, you have such good taste. Thank you. I needed new shoes. So part of me was like, wait, I should have kept those.
Ah, I
They're
know
so
that
good.
feeling. I
right?
know
I'm
that
like, wait,
feeling.
I give her now she has them and I don't.
It helps us let
And
go a little more and a little more when,
yeah, but
oh, maybe I
yeah,
didn't want to do that. I get like it's almost they say buyer's remorse, which is not this. This is like
no, but it's a similar
giveaway
kind of
remorse.
feeling. Wait, yes, yeah. So I'm sure I have a feeling that's why, because the dream came right on the heels of that. And it
Yes,
definitely brought up a lot of feeling for me about this person, about my relationship with her. And that's a
yes,
little bit, has some internal challenges for me. And so, you know, anyway,
yeah.
just,
If
it's
that
just,
were my dream, of course, I can't help but think of this old adage, what is it like to walk a mile in another's shoes? You want to
mm,
judge someone, walk a mile in their shoes, and that's a long walk, a mile. That's going to
yeah.
take you a while on foot. And that's the point. And so I'm thinking if I'm walking a mile in the shoes that I did end up with before I started trading them all back as it was originally, I'm wondering whose shoes I in the dream had and what what would I need to learn from this person if I were to walk a mile in her shoes?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good thing to think about.
Yeah. And do you have a
Well, I think,
sense? Oh, sorry. I'll
I was
give you
just
time
gonna,
to answer. I just have a million questions.
yeah, go ahead. No, that's fine.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, did you have a sense in the dream, a feeling in the dream of why it needs to all go back? We need to reverse the whole situation.
Well, because I think it was so, like, if I gave my friend a pair of boots, or she gave me a pair of boots, she gave me a pair of boots, and then I was going to give them back to her, then I didn't have any because I had given mine to my
Oh,
friend. So I think
okay.
I wanted them back. I think it wasn't that it needed to go back the way it was. It was just
Yeah.
more like I wanted my boots back because now I don't have any because she wanted hers back.
Yes. Oh, yeah. It
Something
also
like that.
it reminds me of before we had cash and a common source of commerce. It'd be like, I'll give you, 2 eggs. Can you
Yes.
come and plant my carrots? Whatever it was, it was the exchange, and then the person would say, well, I really don't need eggs. We have chickens, but I know someone who does, and they have something else that I might want. So it was all like a juggling how to get,
Yes.
and
Yes.
it reminds me of that as well. Like
Mhm.
like my feeling, and this is my projection, is it needs to go back to parity because I don't know. It just seems we need a common, I don't know what. We need a common source
Parody,
of
like, what do you mean parody? Parody to me is like a comedy
a,
type of thing.
a common, oh no, not parody, parity, parity,
Oh,
just
you know
which
what that
which
word means?
meaning like a part and parcel, like on equal footing. It
Okay.
doesn't
Okay.
necessarily seem like maybe mine were cowboy boots and somebody else's were just like rubber rain boots and whatever. So it's not on parity.
Right, right, right.
Do your
Mhm.
do your sleuth thing, your multitasking thing, and look it up.
Okay, I'm not going to do
Okay.
that. Yeah, but yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's something also to do with these two particular friends. They're really close friends. They still are. I mean, I don't live there anymore, but they're still, two of my very closest friends in the Hudson Valley right now.
Yes.
Still. So, um, and we were all three friends together, and with more people in our community. But they were definitely like the heart for me of my little family
Yes.
kind of.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be unusual for us to pass clothes around at all. Like we would do that.
Right.
Like, oh,
Hmm.
I don't like this shirt. Would that fit you? Do you like it? We did that all the time with one another.
You have
So
clothing trades.
yeah, yeah. So it was not unusual. Boots, not so much because we didn't all wear the same size shoes. But
Uh-huh. Sure.
but
I was thinking
but
about that
I
too.
guess, and it's interesting that they were all I couldn't really see them specifically, but they were all like knee-high boots and they were all
Okay.
cool, like hip, somehow, I don't know. And yeah, maybe something about equality. I don't know. And then why couldn't I reach my other friend to get my boots back or to give them to her or however
Right.
that was like they were in this kind of off to themselves and kind of a
Yes.
slightly dangerous looking situation. Like, but so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the shoe thing is really, really interesting to me, that continued theme
You said it
is fascinating.
reminded you of California, like a cliff and then the ocean.
Did well, yes, and that particular friend also she and I have um we have met in San Diego before because her family, she has children who live in San Diego and they have kids. So she's got grandkids. So she goes to San Diego a lot. And I also go to San Diego a lot because I have a
That's
friend there.
awesome.
So I have
I
some
wish
friends.
I went to San Diego a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if I say a lot, but at least maybe a
No,
couple
I
times
know.
a year.
I
At least
feel like
once a year.
you're always going to San Diego.
I do seem to be going there often. And so, we have that common theme. And so it did feel a little bit like that.
Yes.
Yeah, and in the way that yeah, there's a lot to say about that I don't kind of feel like getting into at the moment, but
Okay. Dreamer's
yeah,
choice, as our teacher Jeremy Taylor used to say. So
I think
now
like
I'm looking at, if it's my dream, I'm looking at the water beyond the friend, two friends on the cliff. And I'm wondering how much how much is the water that I'm seeing playing into this dream? Does that feel important at all as an element in the dream? Like, does it feel like there's some emotions happening?
mm, not really, maybe, because it's
Uh,
there.
yeah,
It is
but it
there.
didn't.
There's that breaking waves type of thing on the cliff, so
Oh,
it's there.
right. Oh, you
I
even were
can't think it
thinking
doesn't.
something dangerous? Is that what you said?
Like it just felt a little bit like they were, this cliff, and then you climb down the cliff, and then there was a little bit of a like a platform of rocks, and then there was, the water crashing against those rocks.
Wow.
So it had a little bit of like an excitement kind of a feel to it, like they were, having an adventure kind of.
Yeah. So I'm wondering now, bringing it back to waking life, is there something in your life that can evoke a similar feeling
Like similar to what? To
to the excitement and
oh,
danger
that.
of the dramatic waves, and it's it's scary a little bit, but it's also exciting. The difference, right, between fear and excited.
I don't know, it's just it's reminding me or making me think of like wanting to be on in nature adventures. Like that's what I love.
Yes,
Like when
yes,
people talk about traveling, like a friend said, you want to come to I don't know, Italy or something with me this summer. And I was like, I mean, if they had some whole arrangement and a place to stay, I'd be like, sure. But
yeah,
she's like, yeah, walk around it. I'm like, nah, just walking around the cities and stuff doesn't really appeal to me unless I have a focus. Whether
yeah,
and it's my preferred focus. Well, there's a lot of things. Could be art, like some kind of a retreat, but something in nature is always important to me wherever I go is to find what is the natural
absolutely.
look like in that place. So, there is a part of me that like really digs that kind of adventure.
Yes,
Um, I'm not necessarily like skydiving, jumping off cliffs kind of person, but like adventure in my own way.
yeah. So would you say, because I know you also like, well, I don't know, I'm not going to say this about you, but I know some dream workers like also to look at the directions. So is it that to my left are the people down the cliff with my shoes, but and
Mhm.
to my right are is there's the one other woman.
Yes, one other woman. And interestingly, it was like almost like I was on a road. I was like on a road,
Okay,
and there's a cliff. And then and somehow my other friend is like higher up, but like she's
okay,
not, I don't really see her or get a sense of, is she in a house or is she floating in space? I don't know. But she somehow feels she's up here like to my right, and then the other
Yeah.
people are down here to the left.
So
Yes.
so there's more than one person to the left. It's not only the person who has my boots. It seems like there's at least one other person
Yes, my friend and her partner.
and a partner. Okay. That's wonderful. I really enjoy looking at these clothing
Yeah,
dreams. It always
I
makes me
know.
think, for walking a
Yeah.
mile or like how does one present themselves? It's the garment on the outside of the human garment, it's very
It
significant.
helps us like feel a certain way when we wear certain things, right? They're
Yeah,
just cool pair of boots or a comfortable pair of boots or a practical pair of boots. Like they make you feel a certain way. And
yes,
so there's something to that. The fact that my friend and her partner are there and yeah, we have anyway, there's a lot. I don't want to get into it, but like I said, but there's something about the two of them and me and being like a family. I lived with them for a
okay,
while.
okay. Oh, that's
Beautiful.
nice.
They saved my life when I was going through my divorce. And
Ah, yes,
we've had thoughts of the possibilities of living together in some other form because we live together so well.
that's
And
awesome.
so maybe there's something to that too, but it didn't decidedly have that feel to it. It was,
Right.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know
Well,
what to say anymore.
yeah, I have a
And I,
projection. When I used to live with one of my spiritual teachers in New Mexico, I lived in my own place and learned with him. And at one point, he gave me his cowboy boots because our feet were the same size. And he used to be a ditch digger, so he's like, these are my ditch digging boots. And I used to feel so amazing when I wore them. I was like walking in the shoes of a great teacher, a shamanic Jewish teacher. And I was living in a community on the East Coast at the time, or before or after. This must be after. And my friend Steph, who is a gay man, he kept looking at my boots and he's like, "Why are your boots turning me on so much?" And I had to laugh because he's like a woman in these boots. Like, what's the deal? And I said, "Oh yeah, these were this guy, and he was a ditch digger." And he's like, "Okay."
so
It's just my
funny.
little funny memory.
That's funny. Yeah, that's so funny. See, yeah, the boots have energy, right? Yeah,
Right.
maybe that makes me think of maybe, we're all supposed to be feeling what it's like to be each other, like
Oh,
as a way to connect somehow, as a way of connection.
yes. Oh, I like that. We are so glad you joined us, and we wish you Holomod Metuch.